Hey, welcome. This is a shorter practice, a 30-minute bout, and I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm calling this a point of reference practice because I'm using the wall as a point of reference for various parts of my body in a number of different poses. So it's going to be a fairly vigorous practice, but of course, please take it at your own rate. And it's an exploration, great experiment for you to try. So hope you'll enjoy. So we're going to begin. Again, I would recommend you pull your mat up against the wall, or even up against a door would be fine too. I do suggest you have one block, okay, or something that you can use as a block, something that will bring your hand up higher from the floor. All right, so we'll begin. We want to get ourselves up against the wall so we can feel the back of our head, the back of our shoulder blades. Doesn't have to be flat against the wall though, just touching, and our sacrum or the flesh of our butt against the wall. And we want to back our feet in so that we're not leaning against the wall, but we're not about to tip over either. So just a comfortable distance. We just want to have the wall as a point of reference. So let's begin with our hands in front of our chest in Tadasana with great toes pointed straight ahead, heels a little bit wide. And we're going to activate our body like I always recommend with great toes pointed straight ahead. Energize your legs as though you're dialing them away from each other, toning the thighs, activating your deep front line, and beginning Ujjayi breathing. Hands can come to Namaskar Mudra, and you can just, even here, start to feel those points of reference on the back of your body, back of the head, tucking the chin slightly, back of the shoulder blades, the tush of your seat, and press your feet into the ground. Let's take a nice deep breath all together. Sigh out your mouth. And let's take one Om all together. Inhale and exhale for Om. Om. Smile to yourself, and we'll open the arms and bring the back of the arms against the wall. So we're going to do a few isometric contractions. If your arms do not reach the wall, if they have to be here, you're just going to reach back. Remember, the wall is our point of reference. We want to reach for it or press into it as we're able. So right now, I've already started to press my arms, back of my hands into the wall. I want to keep the head on the wall as well with my chin just slightly tucked. This is actually going to get our head back over our spine where it's supposed to be, because we're also prone to head forward postures. This is going to be a very back strengthening sequence. Let's relax that, relax the shoulders. I hope you've been holding that whole time. We'll come up a little bit higher now. It may start to get uncomfortable, and it's okay to bend your elbows a little bit, or again, take your hands away from the wall if you must. But I'm still feeling all my points of reference. Pressing into my feet, I can feel the back of my tush, feel my shoulder blades, back of my head, and I'm pressing into my hands. I can feel the whole back of my arms, back of my upper back, and then I'm going to release and shake that out. Let's do it one more time, and this time our hands will be up much higher again. If this is starting to get uncomfortable, please modify as you need, probably by bending the elbows. Press into your feet, press into your hands, press into the back of your arms. Keep Ujjayi breathing. And notice if your lower ribs want to flare forward, can you keep them tucking down? Let's take one more big breath here. And we're going to let everything go. So relax the shoulders, and now we'll begin some sun breaths. So inhale the arms to the sides and overhead. See how I'm tracing my fingers along the wall, and I'm going to exhale down. Let's add some head and neck movement now. So as I inhale, I'll slowly let my eyes rise with my hands and eventually look up, actually letting my chin come forward a little bit more and sliding the back of my head up a little bit. And then I'll again let my eyes stay at about the level of my hands. I'll start to tuck my chin and lower my gaze. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale. You'll notice right away, probably, if you keep your hands tracing along the wall and keeping the body in contact with the wall, it's going to feel pretty challenging to the upper back and the back of the shoulders. But this is very healthy, very strengthening, and very important for your postural muscles. Let's take it up one more time. Lower ribs tucking down, and let's bring it down. And we'll go up one more time. This time we're going to hold at the top of the movement. So this is very challenging, so I want to give you some encouragement. We'll only be here for another breath or two. Press the sides of your hands, your thumbs, your index finger into the wall. Press, press, press. Lower your ribs. Press, press, press. And then take everything down and let it go. Let's just move away from the wall and shake that out a little bit. Very nice. You're going to stay in essentially the same position now. Inhale, sweep your arms to the side. Lace your fingers now and turn your palms toward the ceiling. You want to feel now the pinky edge of your hand is into the wall. I still have my head against the wall. I still have my seat against the wall, and I'm pressing into my feet. Inhale, lift up. Try to see if you can lengthen through the very center of your body. Inhale for me one more time, and then exhale, bowing your body toward the left side. Press down more firmly into your right foot. Keep your right buttocks against the wall, and just bow your body as much as the body allows in this plane. Press into the pinky and keep the head on the wall. And then notice if you can press your right shoulder back. Press it into the wall. You want to think of the wall as, again, just a point of reference, but also it's kind of there to support you. It's there to show you how supportive your back body is actually. Let's inhale and come up to center, and we'll give our arms a nice little break. And again, just shake it out, mobilize a little bit, and we'll come right back where we were. Hands together, turn your palms up to the ceiling, pinkies against the wall. Inhale, press into the feet, press into your palms. Exhale over to the right side this time. And you're pressing a little more firmly into the left foot, opening the whole left side of your body, pressing through the palms. Breathing your Ujjayi breath. I know, it's kind of challenging in this position, but it's all to the good. Let's inhale and come up. Press back into the wall one more time and release the arms to come down. Now I want you to bring your feet away from the wall just a little bit, and this is an experiment, so you have to try it out. See, I've got a little bit of space behind my foot, not quite a whole foot length. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale with your tush into the wall. Fold your body forward and down. Keeping your sitting bones pushing into the wall, inhale up to half lift. And then exhale and fold again, keeping your feet pushing down, your butt pushing back. Inhale, come up to half lift. Press into your feet, press into your tush, reach your heart forward, and exhale down. Very nice. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, let's come up. This time you want to challenge yourself. You can bring your arms out to the sides, even take them forward a little bit, but you'll find it might want to make you tip over, so be careful. And let's bring it all down. Very nice. Walk your feet out so we can take a downward facing dog position. Press into your palms and dial your hands away from each other, creating stability at the shoulders, and you can press your body back. Now stand on your left foot and bring your right toes up onto the wall. Start to push into your right toes and your palms of your hands. And of course into your left foot, which is on the mat too. So now you have points of reference for your hands and each of your feet. Keep the breath super steady and strong, really pressing into those right toes. It feels so good. And then bring the foot down, and we'll start pressing down into the mat with the right foot. As you bring your left toes up, push them into the wall, press into palms. Remember, your hands are still dialing away from each other. And your leg that is on the mat, your foot that's on the mat, that leg's dialing out too. Keep pushing into your left toes. Let's take a final breath here. And then we'll bring the foot down. Beautiful. Walk your hands back. Seat comes back against the wall. We'll come up to half lift for a moment. Exhale, folding forward, catching hold of great toes, elbows to the side, and bring the head just to dangle down. Let your head and neck be very relaxed. Keep pushing into your feet and reaching your sitting bones into the wall as you start to tug on the toes and draw your shoulders away from the ears. If you can see how that can naturally happen as I tug on my toes. Your toes are keeping the fingers pinned down. And your breath is full and strong. One more inhale. And then exhale, release the fingers, sweep your arms forward, and let's come all the way up. Hands can come back to Namaskar Mudra, and now we'll step a little bit closer to the wall. And now we'll take our right foot and step it out, and take your left foot and step it out. Now, we're doing a series in this direction, and if you find that you'd like to change the orientation of your mat, please feel free, but I know on this surface I feel pretty secure and I won't slip. So I'm going to take my block now, and I'm setting up for Trikonasana. You'll want your front foot to be a little bit away from the wall, not much, just enough for room for your hip to relate to the wall. You might decide to put a block right there. That might be a good spot for it, or the block could go on the inside of your foot, totally up to you. And then your back foot is oriented with our usual heel to arch of the foot or heel to heel alignment. And you have to experiment with what feels best in your body. So now with our feet grounded, we'll inhale, bring the arms out, and exhale, bringing the right hand to the block. And I do suggest you use the block. Up to you what level you want to use it at, though. Bend and straighten a couple of times. You want to feel that your right hip is against the wall. And then bring your legs to straighten and start energizing your legs as though you're dialing them away from each other. And then you might decide to peel your body open and bring the back of your left hand to the wall, back of your left shoulder to the wall. And once again, we have all these points of reference. So we're pressing our feet into the floor really firmly. I'm hugging my right hip into the wall, and I'm able to hug this left shoulder back into the wall. It works quite well at this level, but you're free to experiment at a higher level or lower if that's your usual practice. Again, it's kind of nice to break the mold a little bit out of the usual. Let's take one more breath here. And then I'm going to let this right knee bend, and I'm going to slowly tilt my body up for Warrior 2. Now I know in my body I'm going to want to wiggle that foot forward a little bit. Up to you though, if that distance is good. It's really good to make those adjustments. I'll probably want my leg a little bit closer to the wall now, and even though my knee is probably not going to hug right up against the wall, that would overcorrect it a little bit, I'm reaching for it. And my back foot, of course, is down at an angle, and I'm lifting the arches of my feet. I'm dialing my thighs and my feet away from each other. And then I'm bringing my arms against the wall. So this is just an excellent place to explore Warrior 2. I'm pressing back with my shoulders, pressing back with my arms. I can feel exactly how my shoulders are balancing over my hips. You know, it really helps you know for sure that you're in an ideal position. And by ideal position, I'm just really talking about, you know, efficient, mechanically advantageous positions in the body. Let's inhale and come into Exalted Warrior now. So this kind of helps me realize, am I rising out of the pose or am I maintaining my foundation? Because sometimes we do rise out of our foundation, we're just not aware of it. This also allows me to rotate my head into the wall. So I have, again, all these points of reference. It's just so interesting how that makes my body feel, what I can notice in my body. I'm going to inhale now and come back through Warrior, and I'll take one more pose from here. Long side angle pose. So once again, I'm pressing firmly down into my right foot, hugging my right hip into the wall, and that enables me to open my left shoulder and hug the back of my left shoulder into the wall. Now, of course, I invite you, if you're used to practicing at a lower level, you can certainly do that here too. Really extending through your left arm, letting your gaze lift, and maybe again, just bringing the back or the side of the head to the wall. One more breath here. Now I recommend pressing strongly down into the right foot and bringing the body all the way up. And right away, we'll go into Trikonasana on the other side. So you want to bring your block with you and put it between your foot and the wall and hug your foot right up against that block. Inhale, reach your arms out, and exhale, bring your left hand down to the block. And I remember, you can take it at whatever level works best for you. I'm pressing strongly into my feet, and I'm just really enjoying the experience of having this wall behind me and hugging my body into it. It really helps me light up my back body, feel how my body is stacked over my foundation. So then the only thing for me to concentrate on is the regularity of my breathing. From here, we'll bend the knee, the left knee now, and we'll come up for Warrior 2. Partly what we're feeling here as we press into the wall are we're lighting up our fascial lines. So this is helping us become more sensitive to where those lines are. So in my lower body, I'm dialing my feet and knees away from each other. I'm pressing toward the wall. I actually want to change that so I can hug into it a little bit more with Warrior 2. But I can feel my lateral lines. I can feel my spiral lines. In my upper body, I can feel the posterior arm lines. So this is, again, just really helping me become more sensitive to the support that I find in those lines. Let's tilt the body up and take Exalted Warrior. Again, I'm able to feel my foundation hasn't changed. I'm going to keep hugging toward the wall. I love this feeling of pressing the back of my arm and my shoulder and my head into the wall, feeling the lateral lines of my body light up. And I'm going to take it down now and take long side angle pose. So again, you can bring your elbow just above your knee and rotate your body open. Oftentimes I find students have a hard time finding where they need to be in space in postures like this because oftentimes this tush wants to push back, and so this kind of thing happens. They get really stuck here. But if they get oriented with the hip under the body, like we can do right here, then that opening, that rotation upward is actually quite accessible. So good to just breathe into these spaces. Let's press down into the left foot now, and we'll come all the way up. And now right away we'll orient so that the toes point straight ahead and the heels are a little bit wider. And again, we want to maintain our feet a little bit away from the wall. Inhale with a tush back into the wall like we did earlier. Exhale, coming forward and down. Bringing hands to the mat. A couple of times, let's rise, press into your feet, reach back into your sitting bones, heart reaches forward, exhale. And again, let's come up. Stretch your heart forward, press into your feet. Even here, I'm dialing my thighs away from each other as I push down, down, down into my feet. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale, I'm going to hold it right here. Put my left hand into the center of the mat and raise my right hand up. Press down into your feet. Continue to dial the feet, knees away from each other as you push down into your left hand and reach up through your right, reaching back into the wall with your sitting bones. And then take the hand down, replace the floor hand, bring the other hand up. Press into your feet, reach both hands. Press the seat back into the wall. You're almost ready to tip over, but you're lighting up everything in your body that stabilizes you, all of your fascial lines here. And then take the hand down. Once again, inhale, come up to half lift. Bend your knees a little bit. Pull the energy into your belly. Peel yourself up, and then turn your toes out. Now, once again, your feet will have to be just a little bit away from the wall. And we want to get to that place where you could almost tip over. So now we're pressing the knees back. The whole outside of the leg needs to press back toward the wall, lifting the arches of the feet, and then the back of the arms and hands. So I'm sure right about now you're really, really excited you chose to do this practice. So I can't see what you're doing. If you need to rise out of the pose a few times, please feel free to, because I know it gets really intense right about now. So I want to invite you to the straight arm position, and then see if you can do this bent arm position. Sometimes we want to do this when we come into that position. So work toward bringing the back of your knuckles against the wall. Pulling those lower ribs down, drawing the navel in. Let's take one more big breath here. I know. Very good. Let's bring the hands down. Walk your feet together, all the way together into chair pose. But of course, we're a little bit away from the wall, and I want to be able to put my tush into the wall once again. Again, this is all about creating these points of reference. And when you reach back with your tail in chair pose, in a way it unloads the pose a little bit, but to compensate for that, what we'll do is press into the left foot and bring the right leg up and across. Pressing back into my seat now, stretching my heart forward. From there, I can bring my hands into this, or my arm right into the foot and shin. Everything's making strong contact, stretching my heart forward as I push my foot down to send my sitting bones back. This feels so juicy. Let's go one more breath here. And let's release that. Stay in our chair, stand down into the right foot, bring the left leg up. Seat reaches back as the heart reaches forward, and then the hands come in front. Elbows against the top surface of the foot, and my other arm is pressing into my knee, and I'm stretching my heart forward as I push down into my feet, and I'm taking strong, regular Ujjayi breath. I'm just enjoying this experience of moving my body and challenging my positions. And then I'm going to step the foot down. Beautiful. Let's stand all the way up. And now arc the body back a little bit, bringing the hands there, press into the feet, contain the front body. And let's bring the hands into Namaskar Mudra as we once again go into chair pose. So sinking into chair pose, we'll come into a really deep version so that we can put our forearms on the mat. So I want you to notice that I'm pretty close to the wall. I don't want to move forward too much. Up to you. There's two positions for the hands here. You can lace the fingers. This is it will feel stronger. This is a little less strong. You're at a bit of a disadvantage in this position. But if you are practicing this position for other postures, feel free to go there. So then we're going to bring our seat up, walk our heels back, taking Dolphin pose. So in Dolphin pose, you can remain here with your feet down, or if you want to challenge your position, keep the left foot pressing down and take your right toes up. Stay with that, or you might decide to bring both set of toes up. If you do that, you might decide also to keep one set of toes on the wall while you bring the others one up. And you're just looking forward and pressing. And then you'll bring the right foot down and the left foot down. Bring the knees down, reach your arms forward. Just take a little break. Every now and then I do take a little break. You might find that hard to believe. And then walk the hands back. We'll assume the same position that we were just in. Let the seat rise up. Press into your feet. I'm energizing my arms as though I'm pushing them forward. Keeping the right toes down, we'll take the left toes up. Maybe we're taking the right toes up too. And then pressing, looking forward just a little, and taking the toes away. And we'll bring that down. Everything's coming down. Coming onto tented fingers, feel free to take a little moment of rest. Personally, I like to keep my shoulders fairly active when I put them in a position like this. It's better for the tissue. Then we're going to walk our feet back, and we'll actually hop our feet through, but we want to lean back so that we actually can have our head on the wall. And then we're taking Navasana. So if you're used to practicing Navasana, you're very strong in Navasana without any help then you may not want this, but it is really a cool experience to bring the back of the head against the wall and then reach with your feet. Having the back of my head against the wall, again, it's a point of reference, it's a target for my body, but it also helps me come up really tall. So let's take another breath here. Hang in there. Let's take one more breath. And we're gonna bring the feet down, and then right away, coming into just about the same spot, we'll just flip around and put our toes on the wall. Okay, so put toes on the wall and Navasana this way. Again, it's a point of reference for you. Press your feet or press your toes, lift through the heart, continue your Ujjayi breath. Very, very nice. And then let's bring the toes down. You're gonna scoot yourself just a little bit closer so that when you lie down, and excuse me while I take the mic out of my pants, I'll bring it over here. Okay, so now I want to have my knees about 90 degrees and my hips about 90 degrees. And the back of my head is on the floor. Again, the floor has become my point of reference here. Shoulder blades are planted back, really opening through the chest, pressing down. And then let's lift the seat up. So keeping the left, I'll use my left foot down, take the right foot up, then I'm gonna touch down and lift. And when I lift, I wanna try to get up as far as I can away from the floor, pushing my foot into the wall, and down. Lift, and down. Lift, and down. And I would recommend lots and lots of these, but probably about 10, okay? And I think we've done about 6. So let's do 7. And you're finding it too challenging, please feel free to do it with 2 feet on the wall. That would be totally fine. And let's just do 1 more on this side, and then we'll switch. So now the other leg is lifted. Touch down and lift. Touch down and lift. And you might find that your body starts sliding on your mat, so feel free to inch back in. Lift. This is so good for the whole back chain of your body, which is pretty much what this whole practice has been about. The back body, the back, superficial back line of the body is like the body's backbone. And we use the front body to hug into that support. So let's take 1 more round. Bring your foot down. Let's press up 1 more time. And then bring the hips to the mat. Very nice. Maybe scooching in 1 more inch. Take the knees together. Take a big inhale here. And then exhale, bringing your knees over to the left side of your body. So if you're as close to the wall as I am, you're probably able to keep your toes on the baseboards. And now I'm gonna just push into my toes a little bit. Use that energy to help draw my right shoulder blade a little deeper into the mat as I look out along my outstretched right arm. So I'm just putting a little bit of pressure of my toes into the baseboard, stretching my breath a little bit, slow, full Ujjayi breath. And again, I'm using the floor as a point of reference, similar to how I used the wall earlier. Now gather in through the belly, come back to center. Take a moment to feel the center, and then take the knees to the other side. You're pressing into your toes once again, and then use that energy, send it through the body to ground a little more strongly through the left shoulder blades, and look out alongside your left outstretched arm. You're slowing and deepening the breath constantly. Now let's gather through the belly and come back to center. Bring arms around the legs, squeeze the belly, and lift the head for a moment. Sincerely thank this body for your practice. And then allow the head to come back to the mat. And now you might decide to put a cushion under the pelvis here, but it's kind of nice, since we're at the wall anyway, to bring your feet up the wall and take Savasana with feet up the wall. And there are many ways that you could position the legs, and feel free to experiment with that and feel free to change your position. But I would recommend now that you either take as long as you want in Shavasana or perhaps set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed that very different practice. Up against the wall, feeling all those points of reference, turning on the fascial lines in various ways, and maybe just approaching postures from a novel perspective. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.